With governments and institutions flocking to crypto and blockchain tech like never before, I think you would agree that crypto is here to stay. It seems as if adoption is in full swing. But what if I told you there's a cryptocurrency that governments and three-letter agencies around the world are actively trying to suppress? A digital asset so private that even the most advanced blockchain forensic firms struggle to trace it. This cryptocurrency is the infamous Monero, and it poses a direct challenge to financial surveillance systems worldwide. Unlike Bitcoin, which operates on a fully transparent blockchain, Monero is designed to be untraceable. Its transactions are private by default, making it nearly impossible for governments, tax agencies, and law enforcement to monitor financial flows. And that is exactly why they fear it. Now, if you've been in crypto for some time, you should know that Monero is an OG. Launched in 2014 as a privacy-focused cryptocurrency designed to provide completely anonymous transactions. Unlike Bitcoin, which operates on a transparent blockchain where transactions can be traced, Monero is built for true financial privacy. Monero achieves this through three key privacy features. First is ring signatures. This is a way to mix a user's transactions with others, making it impossible to determine who sent the money. Secondly is stealth addresses, where they create one-time addresses for each transaction, hiding the recipient's identity. And lastly, confidential transactions, which hides the amount being sent, preventing blockchain analysis firms from tracking funds. And together, these features make Monero one of the most private and untraceable cryptocurrencies in the entire world. Now, with all of that said, it's pretty self-explanatory as to why governments are afraid of Monero. Governments rely on financial surveillance to track transactions, enforce tax laws, and combat illegal activities. However, Monero disrupts this system by providing total financial anonymity. So what's the biggest fear? Well, no traceability means no control. Unlike Bitcoin, which allows authorities to trace addresses and transactions through blockchain explorers, Monero's encryption prevents any outside party from seeing sender or receiver details. This creates a major problem for regulators, tax agencies, and law enforcement agencies that rely on tracking funds. Authorities also argue that Monero facilitates tax evasion and illicit transactions. Now, while it is true that some criminals use Monero, the same could be said for cash or even Bitcoin, like we've heard for the last 15 years. The reality is, Monero is used by privacy-conscious individuals who simply don't want their financial activity exposed. Journalists, activists, and even everyday citizens looking for an alternative to intrusive banking systems can look to Monero for clarity. Now, beyond crime concerns, Monero poses a bigger ideological threat: the war on financial privacy. Governments around the world are moving towards increased surveillance, including the rollout of a central bank digital currency. These digital currencies are programmable and fully trackable, giving governments full control over how and where you spend your money. Monero represents the complete opposite: a decentralized currency with no oversight, and trust me, that terrifies those in power. Now, because Monero operates outside the reach of financial institutions, governments have taken aggressive steps to limit its use. One of the primary tactics is regulation and outright bans. Japan was among the first countries to ban privacy coins like Monero, Zcash, and Dash due to their untraceable nature. The European Union has proposed strict regulations that could force exchanges to delist privacy-focused cryptocurrencies. In the United States, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network and the Securities and Exchange Commission have increasingly scrutinized Monero and other privacy tools. Another major effort to suppress Monero is through tracking attempts. The US government, through agencies like the IRS and the Department of Homeland Security, have invested in blockchain analysis firms like Chainalysis to try and crack Monero's privacy feature. And get this is actually hilarious. In 2020, the IRS even offered a $625,000 bounty to anyone who could develop a tool to trace Monero transactions. And guess what? That bounty is still up for grabs. Monero's privacy remains largely intact, though researchers continue their efforts to undermine its security. Now, aside from that, governments are also tightening regulations on crypto exchanges, forcing them to comply with KYC and anti-money laundering laws. Many centralized exchanges, including Binance, Kraken, and others, have delisted Monero due to regulatory pressure. The Financial Action Task Force has also introduced the travel rule, requiring exchanges to collect and share customer data when processing transactions. This crackdown makes it harder for users to buy and sell privacy coins like Monero through traditional financial channels. Now, despite these challenges, Monero continues to thrive. The coin's community remains dedicated to financial privacy, and decentralized exchanges are emerging as an alternative to centralized trading platforms. DEXs allow users to trade Monero without the need for identity verification, preserving its privacy-focused vision. And now the truth is, the fight between Monero and government surveillance is part of a larger battle over financial freedom. If governments successfully ban or regulate privacy coins out of existence, the world could move toward a future where every transaction is monitored and controlled. On the other hand, if Monero and similar projects persist, individuals retain the right to transact freely without oversight. Ultimately, this raises an ethical question. Do people have the right to financial privacy, or should governments be able to monitor all transactions in the name of security? The brutal truth is governments are terrified of Monero because it removes their ability to track and control financial transactions. Heck, that's why the IRS still has a bounty out for Monero. Through exchange listings, tracking efforts, and strict regulations, they are doing everything they can to limit its adoption. But Monero's community does remain strong, and the coin's privacy features make it one of the most resilient cryptocurrencies today. However, beyond just being a tool for privacy-conscious individuals, Monero serves a critical role in the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem. Many argue that privacy should be an optional feature in crypto, but Monero proves that privacy should be the default. Without privacy coins like Monero, crypto loses one of its core values, financial sovereignty. But aside from that, Monero preserves fungibility. In a fully traceable financial system, tainted coins can be blacklisted. For example, if a Bitcoin was once used in a questionable transaction, exchanges can simply refuse to accept it without you having any say. Privacy coins like Monero could also be a great hedge against financial surveillance. With over 100 countries worldwide pushing for CBDCs, this would allow for full control over how and where people spend money. Now, the challenges of seamless utilization of privacy coins due to lack of support and isolation from the broader financial system will unfortunately remain, but the bigger question is, do we want a future without privacy? If governments successfully regulate privacy coins out of existence, we'll be left with a financial system where every transaction is tracked, analyzed, and potentially censored. This could mean governments freezing assets of individuals they disagree with, banks and regulators dictating how you spend your money, and a complete loss of financial autonomy. Monero stands in direct opposition to this dystopian future. It offers a vision where people own their money, control their transactions, and maintain their right to privacy, even if it's a small niche of individuals capitalizing on its benefits. But what do you think? Should financial privacy be a fundamental right, or should governments have the power to monitor all transactions? I don't know about you guys, but I know which one I'm choosing.